An attack at Boulder's Pearl Street Mall in United States, Colorado, has left multiple people injured. According to the latest update, a suspect is in custody after 5 people suffered burns. Witnesses said the suspect threw Molotov cocktails that burned some or all of the victims, who were part of a march for Israeli hostages. The Federal Bureau of Investigation's Director Kash Patel has termed this a targeted terrorist attack. A walk to remember the Israeli hostages who remain in Gaza was taking place in Boulder's downtown. 2 sources said witnesses told investigators the suspect allegedly yelled, "End Zionist," during the attack. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said on social media, "The ODNI government's National Counterterrorism Center is working with the FBI and local law enforcement on the ground investigating the targeted terror attack against a weekly meeting of Jewish community members who had just gathered in Boulder, Colorado, to raise awareness of the hostages kidnapped during Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7. Thank you to first responders and local authorities for your quick response and action."
Personnel got those victims quickly to the hospital. Our officers were pointed out, a suspect was pointed out to our officers on the scene. Our officers immediately encountered that suspect who was taken into custody without incident. That suspect, who I'm not able to ID at this time, was taken to the hospital with some minor injuries as well. And there's a lot more we're investigating right now before I'm able to release information on that person. The scene itself is contained, but we have a large area here in downtown Boulder closed off right now. Businesses have been closed, and we have asked people to avoid the area. This area is not safe yet. We're dealing with a vehicle of interest. We're dealing with a large area that we are making sure it's safe before we allow people to come back into the scene. If your vehicle is here in the several block perimeter that we have, please follow our social media. We will announce when the roads are open and people can retrieve their vehicle as well. I appreciate everyone's patience as we work through this complex scene. What I will say lastly is this was a beautiful Sunday afternoon in downtown Boulder on Pearl Street, and this act is unacceptable. I hope you'll join me this evening as we're working through this investigation. We are working, I just came from the command post. We've got dozens and dozens of people here, our state, local, and federal partners, working through this to figure out exactly what happened. I ask for a little bit of patience as we do that, but also I ask that you join me in thinking about our victims, the families of those victims, and everyone involved in this tragedy. Our hearts go out to them, and we are going to do everything we can to work as hard as we can throughout the evening to provide more information and get answers for everyone. With that, as I stated, it would be irresponsible for me to speculate right now on motive and other things. I will take maybe a handful of questions, but then I've got to go back to a briefing.
I had a quick one.
Yes, Sean.
Was an actual protest going on when this occurred? Were a group of people gathered, and were words said that would indicate this had anything at all to do with that protest?
So what I will tell you, on Pearl Street, it's a walking pedestrian mall downtown here. There was a lot of people out. Very beautiful day. There was a group of pro-Israel people that were there in a peaceful demonstration. I wouldn't even call it a protest. I believe that happens frequently down here. They were there in that area. We are looking and actively interviewing victims and witnesses to determine if that group was targeted or others, and we just don't have those answers yet. Those are things we hope to be able to provide you later this evening.
FBI is already calling it a targeted terror attack. Mm-hmm. Would you also refer to it as a terror attack?
So I've been in contact with our local FBI multiple times. We are in contact with them here. We are not calling it a terror attack at this point. Again, it's way too early to speculate motive. I know there's a lot out there on social media, but I ask people just to give us a little bit of patience while we work through a really complex scene. A lot of witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do that, I think the picture will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
About the suspect, can you confirm the description about him? Because we know any picture running in social media.
I haven't seen it, and I wasn't here when he was arrested. All I know is it's an adult male. We're working to identify that person. We're working to figure out where they're from, and we're in contact with our federal partners as well as we figure that out.
Was something thrown at the group?
That is being investigated as well. So our initial call, as I mentioned, was a report that someone was setting people on fire. That is fairly consistent with the injuries that we found on scene, but we're not 100% certain how that happened, and that's what we're doing to interview. There's a lot of witnesses that we're interviewing. I suspect within this evening, I suspect we'll have a better idea of exactly how those injuries occurred.
Are you guys going to have additional security for Jewish and Israeli people helping the hostages in the circle right now? Because this is a weekly occurrence, are you guys going to now have some additional security measures to protect Jews in Boulder?
So what I will say is, again, I cannot confirm right now that this was targeted at a specific group of people. We understand that there's a lot of tensions right now and a lot of issues in the United States and everywhere. Once we have a clear motive, we will react accordingly. And if that motive was a group was targeted, we will absolutely step up and ensure that additional security, additional presence. We want people to feel safe no matter what they're here for.
How many people were injured?
I don't have an exact number. What I will say is multiple. I can confirm that Boulder Community Hospital received multiple patients, and some of those patients were transferred to other hospitals. Right now, we have detectives working to find out specifically the number. Again, hopefully later this evening we'll have an exact number. Right now, I'll just say multiple.
Any
Take one more question.
Any life-threatening injuries?
I believe so. What I'm being told is there are a range of injuries from very serious to more minor. And again, I just am. My heart goes out to those victims, and we're keeping them in our thoughts, prayers, and minds as they recover. I got to go back to the command post.
Take this call. And I'll tell you that we are going to have another update later tonight. We will post that out and we will live stream it as well. So follow our social media for the next update. We will have another update for you this evening.
The FBI shares in the sorrow of the Boulder community, especially to those who have family or friends injured in this tragedy. We have surged resources and personnel to the scene. Our special agents, our victim specialist and evidence response teams are doing everything they can to assist our law enforcement partners. In the coming days, we will continue to support the victims and help uncover the events leading up to this terrible attack. Know that we stand with you, we grieve with you, and we are here to help for as long as it takes. We're early in the investigation, but some details have emerged. I'm able to confirm there are 6 victims, ages 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals. This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack. The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene and the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder Police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism. Sadly, attacks like this are becoming too common across the country. This is an example of how perpetrators of violence continue to threaten communities across our nation. It's our job, the FBI, the Boulder Police, and our law enforcement and community partners, to bring these criminals to justice and keep our communities safe. We're asking for the public's help as we continue to investigate this horrific act of violence. I'll direct anyone that has phone calls, that wants to make phone calls, to 1-800-CALL-FBI. And if you have digital evidence, whether that is video or social media posts or anything that can help the investigators, please send that to fbi.gov/Boulder Attack, BOULDERATTACK. Our strength as a society comes from our shared values and our commitment to protecting one another. Any attempt to protect, any attempt to divide us through fear or harm has no place in Boulder, in Colorado, or anywhere in our nation. We stand in full solidarity with those targeted, and we will continue to ensure that justice is pursued swiftly, that support is provided to victims and their communities, and preventative action is taken to protect everyone's safety. And I'll turn it over to Boulder Police Chief Redford.
Thank you, Special Agent in Charge. As was mentioned, my name is Stephen Redfern. I serve as the police chief here in Boulder. I want to thank, first and foremost, the FBI for their swift response today and our partnerships which preceded this attack today. We are very grateful for their assistance and will be working hand in hand moving forward. I want to give first an update on the scene. As many of you are aware, we have several blocks closed off in downtown Boulder surrounding the courthouse. We are still clearing that area for devices. We have multiple teams of K9 and our bomb squad and hazmat teams in that area. I cannot at this point give you an estimated time for opening of that area downtown. We're hopeful it will be this evening. We understand that people's vehicles are in that area that's closed and they'd like to get them. Please follow the Boulder Police Twitter account or other social media as well. We will report on that when we open that area. We want to be reasonably sure as best as we can before we open the area and let people go back there to businesses to get their vehicles that it is as safe as possible. The courthouse, I will announce, the courthouse will be closed tomorrow. There is business in that courthouse through the Boulder County. It will be closed tomorrow as we continue this investigation. Just a couple of mentions. We know there's other events, including things going on this evening in town and in the coming week, and we are ensuring that we have resources there at those events to ensure that people are able to go about their business safely in light of this attack. But as always, we urge people to call 911, call us if they see suspicious behavior, if they see someone that's acting in a manner that appears to be suspicious. We would like to receive that call, go out and verify whether somebody's behavior is malicious or not. I want to thank our law enforcement partners. I started by thanking the FBI, but when this call came out today, we asked for help from all of our partnering agencies, some of whom are here today, and I can't thank you enough. It's not the first time we've had to do that here in Boulder, and it's not the first time that we've had to do that in the metro area. And the special agent in charge referenced partnerships. When we put out the call today, we had a lot of help, both locally and from the region, and I really can't thank our partners enough. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the first responders today. When this call came out today, our officers rushed as quickly as they could somewhere close to the area, and they immediately ran into a chaotic situation where a man was throwing Molotov cocktails and using other devices to hurt people. Our officers, as they're trained, immediately interacted with the suspect, took him into custody, and then began rendering aid to those victims, and I'm very proud of our response today. I'm very proud of our partners as well with the fire department and well as American Medical Response. Before we take some questions, I just want to say that Boulder is not immune to tragedy, sadly, and I know a lot of people are scared right now. A lot of people are upset and questioning how this happened and why. All I know is Boulder has recovered before from acts of violence, and we will again recover. I urge the community in this time to come together. Now is not the time to be divisive, and we will continue to ensure community safety along with all of our partners. To echo the special agent in charge comments, our hearts go out to everyone affected today. Here and in Colorado, we understand that this has a ripple effect in many communities, and we are continuing to stand with and support the victims affected today by this attack. With that, I think we'll turn it back over to our public information officers.
We've got time for a few questions. I'll call on some folks.
Vicki, I have a question for Special Agent McCulloch. Is there any information that could indicate that this individual that is in custody is linked to a greater network or any particular group?
Not at this time. The subject is in custody, but this will be a thorough and complete investigation, and those checks are ongoing.
Colleen?
Could you please tell us the spelling of this suspect's name and what custody he's in? Is he going to face federal charges or state charges? What's next for him?
Got it in there.
His name is spelled Mohammed, M-O-H-A-M-E-D, Sabry, S-A-B-R-Y, Solomon, S-O-L-I-M-A-N. And we are early in the investigative process. Both teams are working side by side collaboratively, and we'll see where the investigation goes.
Yeah, Kaylee.
For the chief, any update on victims' conditions, how they're doing?
Yes, and I'm not sure if we stated prior, but it's been reported to us that the victims' age ranged from about 67 to 88, I believe we mentioned. We know that 4 of those victims were taken to Boulder Community Hospital and remain there or have been released. I don't know the status of that. 2 additional victims were airlifted to the Denver metro area, I believe to Aurora Hospital burn unit. At this time, all 6 victims are still being treated, and again, our thoughts are heavily focused on their recovery right now.
Anything on the conditions of that?
So the question was about the condition of the victims. The last update I had is that at least 1 victim was very seriously injured, probably safe to say critical condition, and then other victims received more minor injuries. I think there's a wide range, but we haven't talked to doctors yet and gotten an actual rundown of specific injuries.
That doesn't include the suspect, does it?
The suspect was injured. The suspect was taken to the hospital, and he was examined there as well. I'm not sure if he's been taken to the correctional facility yet or not.
One more question.
There are people online who claim to be witnesses that say there was a second attacker. Can you speak to that at all?
What I can say, and I will say that I've been involved in several of these mass casualty events in my career, and there is almost always reports of multiple suspects. It's very typical. We did receive reports of differing descriptions. From everything we know in the witness briefings and interviews that we've done at this point, we do not believe that there is an additional suspect at large. We're not going to say that with absolute certainty because we're still conducting a lot of interviews, but we believe that the initial report of 2 suspects, we have not been able to confirm that, and we're fairly confident we have the lone suspect in custody.
Good. All right, so we also had a question about the prosecution. Boulder District Attorney Michael Doherty is present and can elaborate a little bit on that. I'll turn the mic over to him at this time.
Good evening. I'm Michael Doherty. I'm the District Attorney for Boulder County, and first I want to echo what the Chief and the Special Agent in charge said. Our hearts go out to the victims, their loved ones, and our community. I also want to recognize the community members who responded and tried to render aid in the moments after this horrific attack took place, as well as who helped law enforcement, which acted with great courage in apprehending the suspect who is now in custody. I will emphasize that we're in the very early stages here, but the response by federal, state, and local officials is underway, and I greatly appreciate the work of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. There are many agents. We have the Colorado State Patrol here, Boulder County Sheriff's Office, and of course, the Boulder Police Department. They are working hand in hand to ensure that we secure all the evidence, all the information, and all the witness statements we need to hold the attacker fully accountable. That is my promise, to hold the attacker fully accountable. The U.S. Attorney's Office and my office have a strong working relationship. We've worked on cases in the past. And as you know, when it's a mass attack, whether it be King Soopers, Club Q, Planned Parenthood, the list goes on, and unfortunately and tragically, that list is too long for the state of Colorado. But from those experiences, we have forged really strong working relationships and ensuring that we do everything possible, everything we can do and need to do to secure justice for the victims, their family members, and the Boulder community, as well as the state of Colorado. So we're in close communication with the U.S. Attorney's Office. The U.S. Attorney and I just spoke on the phone again now, and in the coming days, decisions will be made about what charges to file and where. There's a couple different options, but what I would stress now, most importantly, is we are fully united 100% in making sure the charges we bring hold the attacker fully accountable.